G'day guys, welcome to my Unexplained VT video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about NRL's Round 4's recap preview for 2022 guys, so let's get started. So starting off with that first game of that match, we see the Titans going up against the West Tigers now. Okay, one interesting game that this match wasn't, and it wasn't very good at all because it was basically the worst game of football I've ever seen. Every single time they get the ball, they either drop it, do a forward pass, or get held up by a tackle near the try line. And that one, and I mean it, this one goes to West Tigers. That's right. West Tigers really disappointed me, and yeah, they only got, I think, 2 penalty goals, which that conceded 6 points. So the scoreline was 8-6, but the Titans only just won by 2 points. And I thought that in this match it didn't go as planned, but it was just the worst game of football I've ever watched. And to that, Titans were absolutely shocking. Titans were absolutely appalling, and things didn't go their way at all. And it was basically the worst game of football. And it's basically like the NFL, like you catch it and then you get tackled. It was kind of like that. And I just thought that both of these teams were just absolutely appalling, especially the Titans. But I know for a fact the Titans are a really good team, but in this game it was really shocking and absolutely really poor to see that this game didn't go their way, and obviously it was a very low scoreline in that match. And yeah, that game was just absolutely disgusting and absolutely appalling, and Titans need to do better, and certainly need West Tigers to do better also too, because the next game, if that match, like if Tigers don't do well in the season, they're out of the season. So especially for that, Michael Maguire, if he coaches, he needs to pick up their game and needs to like acknowledge the players very well. But then I just think that, tell you a little bit of story, that every single time how Robbie Farah goes into that water boy position, he doesn't really educate them very well. And this is why I would really recommend that if Chris Lawrence goes into that assistant coaching role and then you got Benchy Marshall as the actual coach, things would go their way 100%, and I reckon that should happen. But anyway, 8-6 the scoreline, and this game I didn't really rate it at all. The next game of that match, we see the Sharks going up against the Knights now. In this game, the Sharks, they were playing absolutely really good. Another game that really concedes their win. Last time the Sharks played against the Eels, the Sharks won, and then the Sharks played against the Knights, the Sharks won. So yeah, pretty much they are a really good team, and I just have to say, credit to Nico Hines. He is an absolute killer of a player, and just acknowledges like how to play the ball right, and acknowledges how the timing of the ball, like to pass it and not to screw it up. But yeah, 18 points to nil. Really average game of football, but a little bit better, as I mentioned, the other game of the first one. This one was absolutely really good, and I hate to think that this game was really like going to plan, but the Newcastle Knights didn't really go as planned, as I would have to say, because they are a really good team, but it's just how the way that you want to play your style of game of football. But unfortunately though, Kalen Ponga didn't really play his A game well. Yeah, so I just have to say, like, yeah, the Knights didn't really play their A game at the moment. And yeah, I just have to say, like, if the Knights are going to get like a win, couple of wins, and then a couple of losses, it's not going to go their way at all, and I reckon that they won't go well in the season. So in this game, like 18 points to nil, very average scoreline, and obviously the Sharks are a really good team that can just get the job done by easily. And I just have to say credit to Nico Hines. He's an absolute really good player from the obviously Central Coast. But yeah, our boy Nico Hines, he's improving and he's becoming a really good player of the NRL. So I just have to say, yeah, well done from him and well done to the Sharks. The next game of this match, we see the Panthers going up against the Rabbitohs. Now, in this game, 26 points to 12. Average game, another average game of football, but it's really considered like better as like the first game of Thursday night anyway, but it was just better than that. But I just have to say, like, the Panthers, Nathan Cleary, he was really good in that game. Obviously came back from a shoulder injury, which really did him well in that match against the Rabbitohs last week. But let's just say the Rabbitohs, they are a really good team, but sometimes they can just not play their A game right. And obviously I know that, but it's just how it is, and I just have to say, like, how the way you want to play your style of game is just not right at all. But Latrell Mitchell, he needs to pick up his A game right, because I know a lot of people like really bag him as like not a good of a player, but he is a good of a player, but he just needs to pick up his A game right and really improve better if you want to win games, and if you want to be a really good fullback, and if you want to be a very better good fullback. So what really stalled for me in that match was obviously Latrell Mitchell, as I just mentioned. He played a really good match, but not really good enough. And obviously, like, I think Alex Johnston, he is an absolute, like, really good player also too, improving for the South Sydney Rabbitohs anyway. So, and the Panthers, I just think they are an ultimate team that just really concedes to win, like, every single time, and how the way you want to play their style of game is just absolutely correct, and they did it, and they got the job done. So, yeah, credit to the Panthers, 26 points to 12, and yeah, the Panthers won. They are a really good team. The next game of this match, we see the Warriors going up against the Broncos. Now, another two teams that I don't really like, but they played a very good style of football, and I was expecting the Broncos to definitely lose this game because they're not a really good team. And for Tessinu, he's not a fullback, and let's just say this. I'm going to bag him out because he's not a really good player at all. And every single time he gets the ball, he doesn't do anything, like, at all. And he's just not a fullback that doesn't really concede, like, for the Broncos. So, the Broncos, you guys need a fullback. Decent fullback. Not for Tessinu. He is terrible. But the only player that I do like in that game was Adam Reynolds. He played better as a couple of rounds he didn't. And the Broncos, they were playing all right, but not enough to concede the win. 20 points to 6, average scoreline in that match. That really conceded the Warriors to win in that game. And I just think that in this match, like, how the way it is, it was absolutely crazy to see the Warriors really getting a chance to benefit that match. But tell you why you want to play your style of game, but it's like really demanding of the Warriors that they are like a very hard stopping team. But Sean Johnson, he was an alright player in that game. So was Cody Nikorima. I don't know for a fact if Cody Nikorima did play, but I think he did. I'm not exactly too sure, but yeah, well done from the Warriors for making a really good win against the Broncos, 20 points to 6. The next game of this match, we see the Manly Sea Eagles going up against the Raiders. Now, In this match, the Raiders, the only player that did score was Jack Whiten, and the Raiders didn't do well as such. So the Raiders, you guys need to improve, and you guys definitely need to improve, because I know you guys are losing players as such, but really for a fact that you guys are losing players, it's not going to be okay if you guys definitely lose players. But the Raiders, they were really shocking in that game, and yeah, they just need to improve. They obviously need to. So, the Manly Seagulls, they played a really stunning game, and they obviously did, and they obviously wanted to get the win for a fact, and even kicking that field goal to make it 25 points to 6 in that match. I didn't think Daly Cherry Evans was going to kick that field goal to make it 25 points to 6, but he wanted to obviously put the cherry on top, because he obviously wanted to. But anyway, yeah, Tom Trbojevic, he played a really stunning game, and he was improving in that match, and I just have to say, like, credit to him. Without no Tom Trbojevic, there's no Manly Sea Eagles at all. And without no Tom Trbojevic, as I said, and no Daly Cherry Evans, definitely no Manly Sea Eagles at all. But I did think that Dylan Walker did go out of injury. He obviously went off as such. So obviously Talatal Collar did play. Obviously for the late change that Brad Parker did get dropped for him. So yeah, the Manly Sea Eagles, what a really good game. 25 points to 6 against the Raiders. The next game of this match, we see the Cowboys going up against the Roosters. Now, wow. 28 points to 4 in that game. The Roosters, no, actually, Cowboys, they played all right, but I just cannot believe that the Roosters really played a strong style, powerful game of football. And I did not think that how the way the Roosters played was absolutely amazing. And so the Roosters, though, they aren't really good of a team, because they obviously lost players, but they came back. Obviously Luke Keary did play, James Tedesco did play, so did Daniel Tupou. He's been quiet, Daniel Tupou. I haven't really seen him play as such games of football, and obviously tries and stuff, but he's been quiet, and that's what my opinion is. Obviously Sam Walker, he was quiet also too, didn't really play a very good game. I think he was quiet and didn't really play a good game of football. Yeah, and like the Roosters, I think last week against the Rabbitohs, they wanted to improve, and that's why, since they lost that game, they wanted to be hungry for the ball, and that's what they came for. And that's what they came for to win, and that's what they came for to obviously beat the Cowboys in that game. But yeah, 28-4 was just absolutely one hell of a show that the Roosters really did play their style of game of football. The next game of that match, we see the Storm going up against the Bulldogs. Now, in this match, the Bulldogs, they weren't playing a really good game, and like, let's just say this. Devastating loss, devastating scoreline, and devastating game they played. And it was obviously embarrassing, because 44-0 was just a thrashing. And that's how the Storm wanted to be like. The Storm are a very hard team to beat. And obviously, since they've got Justin Olam Xavier Coates, Jerome Hughes, Ryan Papenhuyzen, Brandon Smith. They played absolutely one hell of a game. And I got to tell you, they played a hell of a game. And they obviously did. Ryan Papenhuyzen was absolutely really good in that match. I got to give credit to you, Papenhuyzen, because you are a really good player for that team. And you suit the Melbourne Storm. If you go anywhere else, you're not going to get any better. So, the Bulldogs, they weren't good enough. They weren't good of a team. They had Josh Adokar, Matt Duffy, Brant Naden, Matt Burton, all of that, and they obviously lost. One devastating loss that they had. And yeah, very disappointing. But yeah, well done from the Storm to make a really good win against the Bulldogs, 44-0. And finally, the next game of this match, we see the Eels, my Parramatta Eels, going up against the Dragons. Now, wow, did I see some effort. Wow, did I see some disappointment. And wow, the Eels did me proud. Oh my God. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. But Entertain House was there, so hopefully he does put out a vlog for you guys out there that obviously love Entertain House's channel. He was there. But yeah, Dragons. Last time we played against Dragons, we did lose. I think it was 16-12 or 14-12. But they are a really good team, the Dragons. But unfortunately though, one silly mistake of Anthony Griffin to drop Tyrell Sloan and Talatala Monet. But Talatala Monet was on the bench and put Moses Mbai fullback and Jack Bird into that number 6. That was really stupid, and that's how the Dragons lost. Because I gotta tell you, Moses Mbai is terrible at fullback, and he is better at either 6 or 7. So, fullback side, he was just playing absolutely terrible. But for the Eels, Mitchell Moses having that, like, a really good celebration of a try, leading to that was 48-14. And yeah, well done from the Eels. They played a really strong, hard game against the Dragons, 48-14. Thanks guys for watching my video, guys. Stay tuned for more. We'll be doing a couple of videos coming to you guys soon. Also, I'll be doing more videos coming to you guys soon, so stay tuned for more. Plus, leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and for this video. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, take care guys. Stay safe and have a good one. Plus, let's go up to 300 subscribers. We're sitting on 244 anyway, so let's go up to that. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.